I am so glad to be back in my hometown of Chicago. The weather in Palo Alto was getting a little too nice, so it's nice to get a reality check. It's funny, I'm working in Australia for part of the summer this year, and people keep telling me, the seasons are switched down there. It's going to be their winter when you go. And I say, I think I'll be okay. I'm from Chicago. I was born prepared for any climate, but 60 degrees and sunny is not really winter. That doesn't qualify. But so I'm so glad to be back here and speaking with you about one of my favorite topics that's very near and dear to my heart, which is slam poetry. And I know some of you may be internally groaning about that now, which is completely understandable because you're used to seeing things like this. I'm about to show you a clip from a movie called 22 Jump Street, in which an undercover detective performs slam poetry at the local college's open mic night to try and solve the murder of a student there named Cynthia. And he gets a standing ovation at the end of his poem. So obviously there's a lot of misconceptions about what slam poetry is and what it can be. But in actuality, it's this amazing force that can galvanize the formations of communities, both here in Chicago and away at Stanford. Here, actually, right now, we have the largest youth poetry slam in the world going on, Louder Than a Bomb, which I was fortunate enough to be a part of for 2 years of my high school experience. And at Stanford, we have a team called Slamford, which is comprised of myself and 4 other poets, and we'll be going to compete in the National Collegiate Poetry Slam in just under 2 weeks in Virginia, which we're really excited about. So what I hope to impress upon you from a few of the things that I've said and from the poem that I'm about to perform for you is that slam poetry is this beautiful and courageous art form that people use to share really meaningful stories. So with that, I have a poem written for you today. I have not yet learned to call a palm tree familiar. I have not yet dreamt in terracotta or placed my heart beneath the waters of a fountain. I am still teaching myself to call Stanford home, to find my place in the constellation of star students living around me, and training my eyes to locate the niches of blank academic space that I may lay claim to. I am becoming the star-crossed student, a lover of knowledge by the words imbued on me as they dock themselves in my orbit before sailing on to infect other minds. I am cracking the zip code open like a ripe avocado and ingesting the material inside until I am better for it. I am still teaching myself to be wrong, to separate the word failure from finish line, and to read all the footnotes, even though it can be a pain. I am learning joy in the whir of a bike wheel that moves me closer to a difference with each push of the pedal. I'm still fighting the star-crossed student inside of me. Beneath every archway, I find a new beginning. Under every desk, a new surprise. And between every toll of the clock tower, a new reminder of how precious time in this place can be. Loving knowledge for the sake of knowledge will never lead to enlightenment, and it is only in the darkness that we truly recognize the brightness of stars. It is in those places that luminosity is needed the most. I am still trying to find the corners outside of Silicon Valley's Christmas lights down University Avenue with its kale and quinoa-coated cobblestones that line it. I am only trying to be part of a conversation not tied by the cape of a degree. I am trying to lend mine out to others so that we all might be Superman for a day. I am majoring in international relations and comparative studies in race and ethnicity, a focus deploying more syllables than most, and I have learned a fantastic party trick. By saying this, I can elicit the same response from anyone. But what will you do with that? I will use the winds of freedom to propel me towards the darkness in hopes that you might join me, in hopes that home will always be at my back. Thank you.